Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Yes, man. Welcome to Black and White in the Basement. You already know. I'm JR.
And I'm Ryan. Welcome to another episode. Y'all already know this is Black Lives Matter Part 2. I didn't get the chance to, get everything off my chest on the last episode. You know what I'm saying? So this is the Part 2 of that. And first and foremost, I just want to say that motherfuckers weren't born with no silver spoon. That's the one thing I want to get this out here because, JR had made a point on the last. He made an argument on the last episode that, I never looked at it in that light. I never looked at it that way, and he made a great debate out of it. And now that I look at it, I'm like, I don't always disagree with him. Like, you know what I mean? What he said had taught me something. So at the end of the day, it was a great debate last episode, but he had brought up some good facts. But I just want to let everybody know that I wasn't on no silver spoon. Like, I'm not a street. Once again, I reiterate, I'm not a street dude. I'm not. I've never been out here. You know what I'm saying? But I did grow up in Baltimore City. I did grow up around it. I did see what I see, but, all I was doing was bringing up facts. But at the end of the day, I want to say this to everybody. Like, if you have to come up, like, if you have a family that's starving and you got to feed them, like JR was saying, the poverty is bad. It's terrible these days in this world. If you have a family, you got to feed them, you know what I mean? And you got to do what you got to do out here on these blocks. Hey, like, I'm not, no love lost to y'all. I'm not discrediting y'all. Do what y'all got to do. I support it. If you have a choice, then I suggest that you take a different route. But if you have no choice, it's hard. Like, people think it's easy to get jobs these days, yo. Like, people think that you can just go into an establishment and somebody's going to hire you just like that. So if you have to take care of your family, you have no choice, shout out to y'all that's doing that. This has nothing to do with y'all. If you got to sling what you got to sling, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? And
it's not about slinging, though. You know what I mean? It's not really about slinging. I don't want to send out the wrong message. You know what I mean? I know what you're getting at.
That's why I said if you have a different choice, then. But
that's when the solution comes in. That's why this episode is about solution. It's about, how do we do better? How do we manifest what we don't know until, let's teach each other how to do better. Because crime solves nothing.
No doubt.
Killing each other solves nothing.
Well, that's what I'm getting to because I'm saying, people say that jobs are easy to come by. Some, not for everybody. And then at the same time, even if you do, they got social media these days that people can fall back on, create their own lane with. But that takes a minute. So you have to do what you have to do to feed your family. All I'm doing is touching on the fact that I understand what you were saying.
Okay. No, cool.
Now I'm just touching on it.
It's always like each one teach.
You know what I mean? I'm not.
Yeah, cool.
I'm not sitting here. I don't want to be like, hey, go sell drugs. That's not what I'm doing.
No.
I just saying that I understand where you came from.
I appreciate that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because you brought up a good point. It was a good debate, and when you brought that up, it made me look at shit differently. Like, he's got a point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, at the end of the day, I just want to say that, if you're doing what you got to do to feed your family, hey, I'm not against that. All I was bringing up was the black on black crime being high, which is a fact. You know what I mean? But JR brought up a great argument, and I just want to touch on that. If this had nothing to do with if you protect, all I was talking about was the stupid beefs that happen if you kill somebody because it happened, because he said something that happened on Twitter, like he said something wrong to me, so I'm going to go kill him. Yeah. Like, I'm just talking about stuff like, I'm not talking about self-defense, and, I understand, like JR was saying, black on black crime's high because people got to protect themselves and the poverty's low. Everything that you said last episode, I just want to let you know that I understand where you was coming from.
I appreciate it.
But also, I'm what I'm mainly talking about is the stupid ones that happen on Twitter.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about
and oh, he stepped on my shoes, I'ma shoot him, and shit like that. I just all I'm saying is like at the end of the day, we got to remember people like that. There's mothers losing sons. There's kids losing their fathers or mothers. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
funeral
I'm just
homes flooded, man.
Yeah,
funeral homes,
yeah.
We got to stop.
And this isn't about black or white. This is just about human beings in general. This is me speaking to everybody. Senseless killings have got to stop. And another thing that I want to say this episode that I didn't get a chance to say last episode is I'm not calling every cop bad. I don't want me personally, I don't want to sit here and make it seem like I'm saying every cop is bad.
Because every cop is not bad.
No, not every cop is bad. Like that, because I can't, if one cop does what he does, you know what I'm saying, and they don't, and then there's a cop out here, because that would be like me saying, that would be like a white guy coming up to JR and saying, and calling him a derogatory, the word that, you know what I mean? And then him coming to me and saying, I don't like all white people because this one white guy said that to me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't want to sit here. I also don't want to make it seem like every cop is bad, because not every cop is bad out here. But another thing that I wanted to reiterate is the last episode I kept saying black on black crime. I brought that up, but I also kept saying that Black Lives Matter. I know it's not a part of black on black crime, but I also kept saying that it was about police brutality, which is not true. What I forgot to mention is the justice system. The justice system in America for black people, and I just wanted to reiterate that this is not. It's not just about police brutality. It's also about the justice system. The justice system has been terribly against black people in America since the Jim Crow area. I mean, even before that. You know what I mean? Right. So also, that's another reason why, you know what I mean? Hey, like I say, like I know the Black Lives Matter is with the justice system, and I'm for everybody.
So let's get into the solution.
You know what I mean? But I just wanted to put that out there because I just want people to know that I understand what the movement's about. And I'm with y'all.
That's why we have the show.
You know what I mean?
I respect that. That's why we have the, that's why Black and White in the Basement is really important.
Yeah.
We're not doing it. We don't get paid for this.
Right.
First and foremost, you know what I mean? We're doing it because this is what we love to do.
But now that I got that off my chest, I want to ask you, what do you think the solution, like, what would you do?
Solution?
To fix this, because
first and foremost, as black people, we got to do better. We got to do better. We got to educate ourselves. Knowledge is key. And I speak from experience. Like, if you know better, you do better. First of all, we got an election going on right now, about a couple of weeks from here. Like, get out there and vote. That's very, very important. Like, I'm starting working with my baby girl. Like, I'm gonna teach her the way of life. Because how I vote now is going to have an effect on her, on the 18-year-olds and the 16-year-olds and 15, 13-year-olds.
Can I ask you something, my brother?
Yeah, sure.
I know you say get out there and vote, and obviously...
That's important.
Yeah.
If it never been important, it's extremely important, fam.
Okay, like, if you get, like, let's say people, obviously, like, you won't vote, you would probably want people to vote for Biden, right?
I'm not trying to sway anybody to any direction.
Because
who I want to vote for, that's personal.
Who do you want to? Oh, that's
doesn't matter.
To you.
It doesn't matter.
I got you. All right.
Time should tell you who you should vote for.
No, the reason why I was getting there is because I was wondering, like, if Biden does get voted in the office, when you listen to Biden, right? Do you think Biden is really about, like, for example, him and Charlemagne had a conversation, and he said to Charlemagne, if you don't vote for Biden, you're not black. You know what I mean? And this is what the thing, like, do you think Biden's full of shit, Now we know Trump is like
we're not gonna get off topic. I know where you're going. I kind of sense where you're going with it. I don't want to make this a political thing.
No, I got you.
No, but I respect what you're saying.
Yeah.
The whole Biden Trump thing. I want you guys to make your own decision.
Yeah.
But I know what decision I'm gonna make.
Right.
The last 4 years ain't been good 4 years for me.
Well, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not on Trump. I'm not about Trump at all. I'm just saying. I was just asking you. It's not even about. We all know Trump's bullshit. So I'm not even gonna ask you about him because we know he's.
The numbers.
But listen. The reason why I asked you about Biden is because I'm asking you as a man, like as a man. Do you believe in what he's saying too? Like, do you think he's like kind of, because what he said to Charlamagne, I'm like, oh, so like you just you're just expecting the black vote just because.
If it was my opinion, if I was on his team, I think he would want to take that back. He sounded ignorant.
It did sound very ignorant. And that's why I was asking. It did sound ignorant.
It sounded very ignorant. When I saw it, I'm like, I agree. I know he would want to take that back.
Mm-hmm.
But that's neither here or there. Here, black and white in the basement. Like, if I touch one person in this whole time that we do the black and white thing,
mm-hmm.
if I touch one person, one youth, one adult, and make a change, my job is done here.
Right.
This is not about the money with me. This is not about fame. This is about I have a platform and I want to use it.
100%, bro.
You dig what I'm saying?
Man, this is not
so.
No. This is about
what's going on here. This whole Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? Like this whole movement here. Honestly, it's just sad. I'm tired of like mothers have to bury their sons, have to bury their daughters. Whether we understand it or not, like it's just, when you lose, like until it hits home, it doesn't. You don't feel it the same.
Oh, definitely.
You feel me?
That's why I was bringing up the black on black crime, like not what you disputed. I respect that, but that's why I was bringing up the stupid crimes, like somebody said something. Senseless killings. Just like the police brutality. Senseless killings.
Like I remember when I first moved here back in 2006, like I think we experienced that up north. 300-400 bodies a year.
Mm.
But when I move here, I'm like I see all.
And this is New York, right?
New York, Connecticut.
Right.
You know, from Jersey on up.
Gotcha.
It's like because I really didn't know too much about Baltimore, Maryland until like honestly till like sports brought me to like to understand what Maryland, because it wasn't before Mello, The Wire and stuff like that like dang Maryland, like I ain't know nothing about Maryland. I really didn't. Yeah. But Mello and The Wire and you know what I mean?
It's such a small city. And
but
a lot of people don't really know.
If you wasn't in tune with Maryland and you was from Jersey on up, Maryland wasn't really popping to me.
Right. No doubt.
Once it started being
that's around the world, I feel like like with Baltimore, such a small city.
Yeah, but it's a great city.
It is. I love
it here.
Love my city.
I love it here. No, honestly, I love it. Like when I first moved in, I saw all the black people, and I saw, like in Connecticut, no disrespect to Connecticut, or New York, it wasn't just the dope boys driving nice cars. It was like I saw hardworking people driving. In Connecticut, like we have to like really work hard, 10 times harder for one of us to like really drive a car or live in a home or live in an area where it was respected. But here in Maryland, like I feel like the diversity, you can do that here as a black. Like I live in the area where I want to live. If I want to live here in Connecticut, like in the area where I live at now, in Connecticut, I couldn't afford it. So I'm like, it's a blessing to see my black men, my black women, the kings and the queens, just like yo, you know what I mean? Like I felt I'm blessed to be here. I love Maryland. Take nothing from it.
Well, this is another thing I like about Baltimore is this. Like, I'm not gonna say there's not a lot of racism, and I mean there's racism everywhere, you know. But when I experienced living in Houston, in the South, in Houston,
I've never been out there. Well, I've been out there, but just to travel.
To me, it seemed like the reason why I missed home so much. One of the reasons is because to me it just seemed like here in Baltimore, it was more like. We came together as people. But remember when our last episode I told you I experienced racism from black people? That came from Houston.
Right.
Like the South is a lot different when it comes to that. It seemed like it was kind of divided. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, maybe because of the deep roots of the South, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you can kind of get the gist of it. But, you know, I want the world, this is what I want the world to be, people. Like, I want the world to be like, you know, all right, like, the reason why I brought up, like, people, I know there's probably some black people out there that's going to say he shouldn't speak on black on black crime because he's not black. But the reason why I brought it up is because I can't sit here and tell my brother JR, hey, I don't see color. Me personally, now I know the world's not like that because obviously people see color.
Matters.
Right, color does matter.
Matters. Look at the numbers.
But me as a person, me personally, I'm speaking for me. I can't sit here and say, hey JR, I don't see color, bro. You a human to me just like me. And then not speak on, you know, and not speak on this on something that I felt like that should be kind of cleaned up. Just like I feel like if just like, you know, white people, a lot of white people do mass murders. They be, you know, if you look at it in the past, a lot of the mass murders, shooting up schools, shooting up churches, shooting up, like I brought up last episode, shooting up crowds, like the guy that in Vegas that shot up all the crowd of people that was up, you know what I mean? I mean, that's mostly white people do with no type of murders. I'm talking to y'all too. I'm talking to everybody. This shit needs to stop. This senseless violence needs to stop.
Let's talk about the solution though. Like, I feel like the part that I play, that I want to play, is education. Like, I'm starting with my own household. I want to teach from my daughter to my sons education. You know, we wore the shirt last week. Like, I want to make sure my daughter know who Maya Angelou is.
Word.
I want to make sure she know who Bob Marley is. I want to make sure she know who Emmett Till is. Some of the names that they're not going to teach you in school.
You know,
you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I want to teach her how to financially be stable.
Yeah.
Finances. Economics. I want to teach her understand what poverty is. Education. I want her to have knowledge of self.
Yeah.
Understand she's a beautiful black queen.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want her to understand that, like, look, you work hard, the rewards will come.
Yeah.
You have to go out here and earn it. You might have to lose sleep. Yep.
Yeah.
I have, you know how I work. I work night and day because I want to provide for my family.
Yeah.
This right here, just I'm able to take an hour off, and you and I do this podcast, and I love it. This has been a passion of ours to do this together.
No doubt.
But this is a message that I want to get out here to the world. Like, I'm not looking for a paycheck. I'm not looking for a payday. Yeah. I get rewarded if somebody said that, man, you and Ryan, JR, y'all did something. You know what I mean? Like, that goes further with me.
Y'all made a difference in our world.
Exactly. Somebody,
whether you're white, black, whatever, you know what I mean?
You know my history.
You know.
Eventually, soon we'll get into that one day. But you know where I come from.
But to touch back on you teaching your daughter, like, about people like Bob Marley and Maya Angelou.
Martin Luther King.
You know, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X.
Malcolm X.
I want my son to know that, hey, this is your past also. This is your, you know what I mean?
They paved the way.
Right.
Without them, there's none of me. I'm not here.
Exactly. And, you know, my son's mixed, like I said last episode, so I want to make sure that he knows his black history. Yes. You understand what I'm saying?
He's a king.
Black History Month is for him, too, because he needs to know this part of his mother's.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where, you know what I mean? And I want to make sure that he learns.
He gets a fair shot. He gets a fair shot.
Yeah.
He's one what's fair.
Yeah.
I just want what's fair for my kids, man.
Or
any other kid that's around here.
That's exactly what I want, bro.
Because let me tell you, I drive around Baltimore City and, you know, back home in Bridgeport. Shout out to Bridgeport. You know what I mean? Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? New York City. And I'm like, yo, honestly, seriously, we as black people got to do better. You know what I mean? You have to wake up one day and say, I want to do better for myself. I want to educate myself. I want to look. with finances, how to budget my money, how to make money the right way. You know, violence solves nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you talk about black on black crime, and I had to talk to you about that. Like, yo, some people front doors, that's all they have. There's a poverty. So what I want to do is, you know, when I say, and I feel like I didn't touch on that, like when I say I'm not with the marching no more. I respect everybody that's marching. That's a great cause. Please don't take away from that. But I want to march to a place where I want to know who's in Congress.
Yeah.
I want to be able to vote for who I choose to be my president. The lawmakers right here in my state. Who's my governor? Who's my mayor? And I want to get with the mayor. Eventually, somebody shout out to the mayor like, hey, black and white, mention the mayor of Baltimore. I want to talk to him. Reform. The prison reform. The kids in the city, what they need, what they gotta have. Some kids going to sleep with no food.
Yeah.
Mother, crackhead, mother left daddy killed, prison.
And I don't want to make
Hold on, give me a second. You know, those are the things that make you make a decision that's not. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not you don't have a fair shot.
I got you. I definitely
so
understand what you're saying.
We first have to educate ourselves. That's why I say I want to go with, you know, the whole Martin Luther King marching and all that is great. I support all that. I support the Black Lives Matter. I swear I do. But I know that I have to do more. I have to learn what legislation is. I have to learn. You know what I mean? Like
bro,
the three branches of government. I want to teach my daughter that. She's 6 years old. I want to teach her what the branches of government. I'm going to teach her you got to vote. When you're able to vote, you have to vote. Vote and get out there. So we stand out there for Jordans. I'm a big sneaker fan. Everybody know me like I'm a sneaker freak.
We gonna stand out there.
No. Let's not get twisted. I'm not sitting in a line for Jordans for 6 hours. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that.
Me neither.
I'm not doing that. But I will stand out there and vote for 10 hours. I will take a day off from work and stand out there. Because it doesn't matter because it affects my kids. It affects the kids in Baltimore City, New York City, Chicago, Connecticut, Baltimore. Like, it's necessary. We have to each one. We have to teach. We have to teach. Right. Like, that's why I say I'm not marching no more. Like, there's movements out here. Like, I want to start a movement where I want to affect at least one kid. I want to make a difference in one kid.
Yeah. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up. Like, I can't sit here, like, and I feel like also I want to react to the people that say you can't bring it up because what I brought up last episode, because of me being white. Like, I can't sit here and say I ride for Black Lives Matter, and then, you know what I mean?
You know,
then that'll make me, and then what are y'all going to say then? That I should, because I'm white, I can't ride. If I'm going to ride for Black Lives Matter, you know what I mean?
You
then
know,
I should be able to speak
somebody close to me, real close to me, told me that you can't say all lives matter to Black Lives Matter. And I was like, whoa, what are you talking about? Hold up. But then they helped me understand. All lives don't matter to Black Lives. And I said, you know what?
Glad
that's the realest shit ever. That's the realest shit I ever heard. That. Because I was like, yo, all lives gotta matter because I look at it. It's only one God. You know what I'm saying? It's only one God. But in actuality, it's like, how can Black Lives matter? How can all lives matter if Black lives don't matter?
I'm glad you said that because...
But I was in tune. I was like, you know what?
And he has a good point. You know why? Because...
Might have been a she.
The injustice...
It wasn't a he. It was a she.
Or whoever it was.
Facts.
They had... The injustices is happening to y'all, bro. This is...
That's why we have to get out there.
Police brutality is happening to y'all. It's not happening to everybody. It's happening to y'all.
Black lives.
That's why on the last episode I kept saying Black Lives Matter.
It does matter.
Because yeah, do I believe all lives matter? Don't get me wrong, I do. But right now we have to focus on Black lives.
Yes.
Because of the fucking the bullshit that's happening, bro. Like, you know, like this shit is only happening to y'all. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna say. I mean, maybe it's happening to white people. It's not as televised, and the police brutality on white people is actually higher if you really look at the numbers. You know, if you go online and look at the numbers, it is higher, but that don't mean nothing because
you said
police brutality on white people is actually higher. If you go look at the numbers,
I'm not gonna argue because I never looked.
Yeah, I looked at the numbers. It is higher, but what you guys are in the minority.
Okay.
So that, you know what I mean? So it's like that's why. That's the only reason why. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
But at the end of the day, like what gets televised is like it's just always. It seems like remember on last episode we was talking about like I couldn't understand how you would feel getting pulled over. I could never, bro. I know that y'all gotta.
That's why I legit, man, because it's so scary.
Yeah.
And again, when I speak about education, it's about. I don't want the brothers or sisters to why are you pulling me over? Why? Be calm.
Yeah.
Educate yourself. Understand that if you're trying to, I need to search your car. You need proper cause for that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna need a warrant for that.
That's
I've been there.
That's facts.
You gonna search my car? You need a warrant for that. But listen.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Education is key.
Mm.
Funding is key.
I'm with you.
People like you and I are key. We need to get in the neighborhoods and like I need to get in the neighborhoods and talk to the youth, whether you've been incarcerated, because I can talk about that. Been there, done that. You know what I mean? What I've been through and where I am now, I'm a perfect example. You can make it. I don't have much. I'm not rich. I'm a working man.
That's why.
You feel me saying? But I can tell y'all, yo, just because you've been incarcerated or because you had a rough coming up, that's not an excuse.
Even the prison systems are flawed.
That's why we have to educate ourselves. That's why we have to stay in tune with what, you know, when you drive around these cities and you're looking at the poverty, you're looking at the, bruh, if you don't educate yourself, you don't go check into somebody's school or educate yourself just to get knowledge of self. Understand yourself. Like, I'm not even into why I wear this. Those that understand already know what it is. If you know what this means, then it is what it is.
You know,
but understand what I'm saying. Like, you have to educate yourself. See, everybody. I don't wear no jewelry. I wear my wedding ring, and this is just. It's not. I don't wear jewelry, and I have a reason why I don't wear jewelry.
This
you know what I'm saying? It's about knowledge of self. Like, I'm comfortable in my own skin, but we have kids out here. The TV, the radios, the music.
All they know.
They're not being taught the right way.
No,
most of the education is not being taught, like finances.
It's not being taught in schools no more.
Because the teacher's not being paid well enough. The teachers got to be compensated. Like, yo, take care of your teachers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Take care of the neighborhood. Kids are going to bed hungry. Why? We print our own money. The government, we got to be in tune. But in closing, I want to say this, man. Like, I appreciate the fact that you listened to me. You know, you and I had dialogue outside of, behind the camera. We talked about it. And you know, I want you to express how you feel. Because, again, this is called Black and White in the Basement. It's called Black and White for a reason. Yeah. We come from different places. But we still brothers.
Yeah. And that's, I just want to get that off my chest because I didn't want people to think that.
Like, love.
Because, not only black people grow up like that. There's hungry white kids that grow up in the hood. Let's give them a funny moment. I want you to tell us what a fucking idiot moment. Because I got JR's jewels. Hey, let me tell y'all what a fucking idiot moment. I'm going to give y'all what a fucking idiot right now. People that get on social media and say that they don't want nobody in their business, but they put their fucking business on social media. What a fucking idiot.
Facts.
Why the fuck? Yeah. That's stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes. Drop that jewel on him, my brother. Go ahead.
JR Jewels, man. Each one teach one. Because what you taught me, like, you listened to me. Because I felt some kind of way about you telling me black on black crime. Like, a lot of it I don't know about. But some of it I do know about. And I was able to bring you into that world. So that's like, you know what I mean? That's JR's Jewels for the day. Remember, we're going to have What a Fucking Idiot and JR's Jewels. But
every episode.
My jewel is each one teach one. That's my brother. We're going to talk about it. It's always one love.
It's always one love. Yeah. Thank y'all for joining another episode. This was Black Lives Matter Part 2.
Hit that subscribe button. Listen to me. If you rock with me and you didn't hit that subscribe button, you don't rock with me. Check your phone, check your computer, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, hit that like button.
And remember this, people. Love. Just because you're a different color, it doesn't make you the human being that you are. We need to love one another.
In closing, remember we practice social distancing. We take temperatures. You know what I mean? We wash our hands, hand sanitizers. So we follow CDC code lines. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's one love.
It's all one love, man. Black and White in the Basement. Black Lives Matter.
All lives matter. Black lives matter.
It's all love.
Until Black Lives Matter,
all lives will matter. So,
facts.
Hey,
Peace.
thank y'all for joining another episode of Black and White in the Basement.
Peace.
Y'all have a good one.